Welcome to this explainer. If you are a wealth management professional looking to elevate your client's financial standing, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're going to unpack a highly effective structured diagnostic tool. We're going to break down the journey of wealth building into distinct actionable phases so you can pinpoint exactly where your clients are right now and exactly what strategic growth steps they need to take next.
Let's kick things off with a core truth. Wealth isn't a single number, it's a progression of security. As financial advisors, it is incredibly easy to get caught up in portfolio balances, target net worths, and percentage returns, right? But this philosophy shifts our perspective away from simple metrics and toward a strategic journey. Because let's face it, a high net worth doesn't necessarily equal high security if the foundations are weak. By viewing wealth as a progression, you can better manage client psychology and really tailor your strategic growth plans to their actual lived experience of financial security.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. The wealth progression framework, 2. The survival to stability transition, 3. Security and the investment foundation, 4. Success and achieving financial independence, 5. Significance, which is all about legacy and giving, and finally 6. Your strategic growth next steps.
Section 1. The Wealth Progression Framework, Mapping the Client Journey.
Okay, here is the complete 5-stage diagnostic framework: survival, stability, security, success, and significance. When you think about your current book of business, you likely have individuals sitting at every single one of these levels. And let's be honest, sometimes they think they're at a level 4 when their balance sheet is absolutely screaming level 2. The real value of this framework is that it prevents you from applying a stage 4 strategy to a stage 2 client. It forces a disciplined, strategic alignment between the client's current reality and your advisory services.
Section 2. Survival to stability transition. Escaping the vulnerability trap.
Starting at the very bottom, we have the survival stage. In this stage, your client has zero defensive perimeter. This phase is characterized by living paycheck to paycheck, which means any sudden expense, a medical bill, a car repair, can be completely catastrophic. And surprisingly, even high-income earners can be trapped in this stage if their lifestyle creep outpaces their liquidity. From an advisory standpoint, this requires immediate triage, not complex investment strategies. If you have a prospective client or maybe a younger family member of a legacy client in this stage, your advice must be hyper-focused on cash flow management and sheer survival.
Now, getting a client from survival to stability, that is a massive strategic triumph. It means eliminating high-interest debt and securing a solid, liquid emergency fund. Moving a client into stability is all about building that defensive wall. Once they've cleared out that toxic debt and funded an emergency reserve, that constant background anxiety really begins to fade. They're no longer just one bad break away from financial ruin. And for you, as an advisor, guiding someone through this specific transition builds immense, lifelong trust.
Section 3. Security, the investment foundation. Activating wealth accumulation.
Once stability is locked in, reaching security means your client has finally built a solid investment foundation. They're officially out of the danger zone, their emergency funds are intact, and that high-interest debt is gone. Now they're pivoting their momentum from merely surviving to actively securing their long-term future. This is the stage where the absolute magic of compounding really begins to take root, and where your expertise in market participation becomes entirely relevant and totally essential.
This is a huge pivot, removing from financial defense to proactive wealth accumulation. As an advisor, your strategic growth steps here focus heavily on asset allocation and systematic investing. Your conversation should shift away from basic budgeting and move toward optimizing tax-advantaged accounts, understanding risk tolerance, and setting up automated investment vehicles. You are officially building the engine that will drive them toward complete financial freedom.
Section 4. Success, Achieving Financial Independence, Reaching the Work-Optional Threshold.
The success stage represents a massive paradigm shift for your client. Success isn't just about having a large portfolio, right? It's the specific threshold where that portfolio now fully sustains their lifestyle without the need for active earned income. Work becomes entirely optional. Literally, this is the dream you are selling when you first sit down with a client. It is the culmination of all those years of disciplined progression through stability and security.
But here's the catch with stage 4. What got them here won't keep them here. Reaching this stage means your advisory relationship absolutely must pivot towards asset preservation, withdrawal strategies, and lifestyle design. The skills you use to help them accumulate wealth are fundamentally different from the strategic growth steps required to distribute it safely. Now you're focused on sequence of returns risk, tax-efficient drawdown strategies, and making sure their capital outlives them. It's a highly complex advisory phase that demands precise technical execution.
Section 5. Significance, Legacy, and Giving. Extending impact beyond the individual.
Finally, we reach the significance stage. Here, the strategic focus evolves entirely into complex estate planning and generational impact. The client's personal financial success is completely locked in. They have more than they will ever need to fund their own lifestyle. So the goal now is utilizing that accumulated wealth to actually leave a mark. This requires a deep understanding of your client's core values, their family dynamics, and their ultimate vision for the world.
You are moving way beyond personal security now. We're talking intergenerational and societal impact. This is where you facilitate profound, lasting value that extends far beyond a single lifetime. You're coordinating with estate attorneys, setting up donor-advised funds, maybe structuring family foundations or generation-skipping trusts. At this point, you're no longer just managing money, you're managing a legacy. It is arguably the most sophisticated and definitely the most rewarding stage of the advisor-client relationship.
Section 6. Strategic Growth Next Steps, Elevating Your Client Book.
So, how do we actually apply this? By treating these stages not just as labels but as diagnostic tools, you provide a clear, actionable framework to systematically elevate your clients. First, diagnose every single client's current stage. Be brutally honest about where they sit. Second, target the exact metrics required for the immediate next stage. Seriously, you shouldn't be talking about legacy to a client who desperately needs stability. Third, physically shift your strategy from a debt focus to a legacy focus as they climb. And lastly, communicate this progression to them as a linear roadmap so they know exactly what the game plan is.
I want to leave you with a provocative question to chew on as you analyze your own book of business. Look across your entire client roster. Which stage holds the majority of your clients right now? And more importantly, what is your precise actionable strategy to elevate them to the very next level, starting today? Understanding this framework is great, but applying it as a tool for strategic growth is what will ultimately differentiate your advisory practice. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start mapping your clients to these 5 stages right away.